Yo, got this ball python in right here. It's called a ghost ball. Okay? First thing you notice when you look at this, let's pretend that you're right here standing with me. What's the first thing you notice? It's shedding. Well, that's normal, right? Kind of. It's partially shedding, and the problem starts, you can kind of see it. Nah, it's kind of hard to see, but it starts right around the GI tract. Oops, sorry. And if you can see it or not, it's like a hot pink under the belly, and towards the back, it's lumpy. Boom, boom. And if you can see like this, the wrinkles in the skin. What is that? Let's see if you can diagnose it. I also tried to feed. One touch the mouse. Tried to feed just a pinky. This is just a little guy. Gulping water down like crazy. So, what's your diagnosis? I'll tell you what it is. It's called, it's really hot pink now, but it's called gastroenteritis. And I've seen it where it's really bad, where it's so hot pink and there's giant lumps in them. Gastroenteritis can cover an array of things, but the reason that it happens is from feeding frozen thawed. You say, well, this is just a baby. How could it happen so fast or at all? Well, that's because the mother was eating frozen thawed, and they passed the lack of good bacteria on to their babies. And the runts of the litter, they get it the worst. So you always have to watch out for that. So if you're at like a reptile show and you're going to buy a snake from a breeder, you want to look at the belly and make sure it's not hot pink. This one's not like real bad, but I've seen it real bad. And it wouldn't be hot pink like all down. It'll start about midway through the body. And then don't feel for lumps because it hurts them, because it's a constipation. But there's undigested food in this belly right here. So you don't want to like go through and squeeze them. And I've seen people do this roll thing. Don't roll it out either, as if you're going to push the poop out. Will you push it out? Yes. But that's going to be really painful to the ball python. I mean, what if somebody did that to you? If you were constipated. Don't worry. This is what you do. I'm going to show you. Okay, so this is my water filtration system, or RO system, and this is my storage where I keep all my water. This barrel, I keep a small heater, and just a small pump to circulate the water. And you can literally, I'm going to cover up the label on this so you don't think that I was trying to plug some kind of brain or whatever. You can go to the grocery store, hang on, and you can buy any probiotic. Here's one right here. I got it from Dollar General right down the road. It says extra strength amount. But there's various good bacteria that they make probiotics out of. Anyways, I opened 10 capsules into this barrel, right? And I let it sit for 3 days with the heater and the little pump pushing it around. And what you're going to do is, if your snake is refusing to eat or possibly having the same kind of issues, let me turn this way, possibly having it's even worse, same kind of issues that the one I just showed you is, you got to put good bacteria in the stomach. So when you feed frozen thaw to a snake, they will eventually run out of digestive enzymes, or gastric bacteria, good bacteria, to digest their food. Because when you freeze it, you kill it, 99% of it. And nowadays they're freezing and irradiating. So they freeze it, then they run it through radiation to kill off anything. So now everything is dead. So if you happen to have irradiated and frozen thawed in the same way, your snake is definitely going to get sick eventually. You can do two things. You can start feeding live, which is the best, Or you can also sprinkle the probiotics on the thawed mouse or rat or whatever it is you're feeding, whatever rodent it is you're feeding. And or you can also do the water trick, you know, that I was just telling you about, where I took 10 capsules and dumped it in the water, and you use that water to refill their dishes all the time. Personally, I take the water bowl away from the snake for 3 days, make them go without water for 3 days. And then, when it's time, you put the bowl back after 3 days, put them near the bowl so they can hear and smell and feel the vibration of the water hitting the dish, and they go over to the water dish and just start gulping it, sometimes as you're pouring it. That way they get a real big shot of good bacteria. Sometimes it takes 3 days for the snake to finally poop. Sometimes it takes 7 days. The longest I've had was 2 months of this bacterial flush, good bacterial flush. And you'll notice one day you'll come in and you'll say, hey, look, he pooped. And then they start, you know, or they're dancing around their cage almost immediately because now they're starving because they're not constipated anymore. So, in conclusion, or to wrap this up, don't feed frozen thawed if you can. Yes, it's cheaper, but if you're going to do that, you're going to have to sprinkle some probiotics or get liquid probiotics, like for infants, to put on the thawed mouse. Use distilled water or reverse osmosis water. Don't use spring water. Don't use Dasani. Don't use any water, especially that has baking soda added to it. They do that a lot now because it makes people thirstier to drink water with baking soda in it, and it makes you buy more water. So if you can avoid that, don't use that water. Just reverse osmosis water or distilled water only. Put the probiotics in 1 gallon. You can add 2 or 3 capsules. Put the cap back on, let it sit in a warm spot for a few days, and let it stay in a warm spot always. And just revert to that when it's time to fill up the dish. And you'll have healthy snakes all the time.